Hello everyone, watch this review here where they look at the Toys R Us exclusive Ghostbusters 2 set. Now although Mattel has been doing Ghostbusters figures for a while, this is the first retail release I believe, in addition to also being the first collection. These figures are all basically on the same scale as the Dark Knight Movie Masters line. Previously when you were buying these online, it would be a single figure with an accessory for I think it was like 20 bucks. In some cases it's a really large accessory, other cases it's a little bit chintzy. This set was I think it's 65 now at Toys R Us. It was on sale in November for 50 bucks, which is when I picked it up. So I mean, you do save a little bit, but you lose out in the accessories in all those cases. And of course you actually do save on the shipping and handling, which does represent a pretty big number or so. The set includes the 4 Ghostbusters, Egon Spangler, Peter Venkman, Winston Zeddemore, and Ray Stantz, in addition to Slimer, which came with a stand. I've misplaced that since then, but you know. And 1 Ghost Trap. Each of the Ghostbusters comes with their proton pack and their neutron wand or whatever. In addition to these little cheap Santa hats, which I took off the other ones to, because I don't really like them, but left it on Venkman just to show what it looked like out of pack. Also, the other cool thing is the little insert from the inside. It's like, I don't know, it just looks like it makes a good sort of display piece in and of itself, so you can just stick that someplace, and you have the Ghostbusters 2 logo, which is kind of neat. Now, all 4 Ghostbusters look like they have the same body sculpt, it's just different head sculpts for each. The only exception, of course, well, obviously the fact they used a different color for Winston, but beyond that, Venkman actually has a different leg piece here. His pants aren't zipped up, the other ones have it zipped up, so the whole boot's visible, but that's the only real piece of customization I see besides the heads. And because the bodies are all basically the same, I'll only be really looking closely at one of them. Other than that, let's take a quick look at the head sculpts here. First up is Egon Spangler. Now, I really dislike these glasses. The lenses look just way too thick. You can't really see the character's eyes all that well. In addition to just looking comically oversized. But other than that, I'd say it's a pretty decent character likeness. Not too many complaints there. Now, the Peter Venkman, or Bill Murray, probably looks the best of the bunch. In addition to the features looking the closest, it's just the character also has this jovial little smirk, which conveys a lot of the character in addition to the actor who plays him, so definitely really cool. Now the Winston, I can't remember a lot of what the actor looks like, but no real complaints for the head sculpt. Looks decent enough. Can't say the same about the Ray, though. This is just an awful Dan Aykroyd. In addition to the likeness somehow just looking really off, he's just got this really angry scowl on his face, and it just is completely out of character for both Ray as well as Dan Aykroyd himself. I'm just surprised that something like this could make it past the whole process. Like, nobody would flag this and send it back. They decided to go with this. You think licensing or somebody would complain, but here it is. Other than Ray, though, the rest of the group looks okay. In Venkman's case, even good. Moving on, let's first take a closer look at Slimer. Now, I've never been as much of a fan of the movie Slimer as I was of the cartoon version. I mean, the movie one looks really grotesque and kind of out there and gross and everything, whereas the other one has more of a charm to it, but, still pretty cool. He's made of a green translucent plastic, so like a ghost you can kind of see through him, but not that much. Then again, I don't think the Slimer from the film was all that transparent either. They painted in the teeth and the tongue here. You can see a little gap between the tongue and teeth. Also, I mean, the cool thing about doing a translucent figure is, well, you know, especially because he's a ghost, you can just turn off the lights and stick a flashlight up his butt. Ooh, spooky. Yeah, well, kind of neat. The effect was a lot better the first time I did it, but my camera and equipment seem to be haunted because that one came out without sound, so yeah, pretty cool. I mean, the only downside is that the illumination's kind of a lot stronger at the bottom, so it kind of throws it off, but it looks pretty decent in person. Now, in terms of articulation, Slimer has ball-jointed shoulders with an okay range. The problem is that he's got like these shoulder pads things here where his flaps of ghost fat are kind of hanging over, so can't go all that much up. But, you know, still really good range of motion. Single jointed elbow, then a rotating wrist. Unfortunately, due to the arms, length, and everything, can't really get any good shoving food poses, but, you know, the hands do get kind of close to the face. The joint, this left arm I haven't gotten to go yet, but probably fix it. I mean, again, really decent. As for the trap, yeah, it's got a fair amount of detail, but just not a ton of paint. This is the foot pedal. This is the actual trap portion. You can open up the trap by just kind of popping your nail or something in there, and voila. The one downside to the sets, it doesn't include like any real effects. Like you don't have any proton streams or whatever the trap stream or whatever it was called, so that would have definitely been a nice touch, but you know, I guess it's still a pretty decent value for the money, somewhat. Now, as for the Ghostbusters themselves, actually I guess I better go with one that has the more standard sculpt, but you know, the costume has a good amount of detail, folds and stuff in the fabric, again, same across all of them because they do use the same sculpt. The proton packs have a ton of cool detail in addition to having like wires and stuff hanging out, and the wires are all individually painted. Surprisingly, no major paint flaws that I can see, which is really decent. Now, I believe these things pop off, but maybe they don't. Now, as for the wands, they kind of have a tendency to bend, so just gotta be careful about that. I'm sure it's not a huge issue or whatever. And they kind of dock this little peg thing over here, which is probably how they get kind of messed up in the first place. You know, no real complaints about the actual look of these, but the real downside is just the fact that some of the articulation really sucks. Starting off, we have, you know, really decent wrist here where it has kind of a ball joint. Go forward, back, full rotation, but as soon as we get to the elbow here, because they sculpt in the pads like this, and especially at an angle, it can't ever get a full straight arm extension, which really bothers me a lot. I mean, I wish that they just physically positioned this, or like sculpted this to be the ball or something, and then, you know, we would have had a little bit more there.